birthday. So, yeah. Good. So do you know where you are on that agenda? You're bringing us home. You're our anchor light. So I'll let you. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, good. And Avery, you said you're good with your audio and your camera, right?
What's that?
You said the audio and your camera you're fine with as long as we have the stream.
It should, yeah. I have a boom mic that I put on there that should be better than.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, the screen, it turns off automatically, so to
Okay.
turn it back on, just switch on and off. Let me just show you.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Avery, are we going to wait a few minutes to get everybody in?
Yeah, I think we're still waiting first.
Okay. Good.
So could you get in contact?
Reverend Ken.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I'm projecting using my theater voice
Excuse me.
because we do not have mics.
I can do it. That's the right.
If you are already clearing, I invite you to move up. But the good thing about being in a crowded, small room is I hope that we'll be able to hear each other during this whole day. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this multi-faith Earth Day celebration. It's good to be here with you. This is a partnership between Creation Justice Ministries, Ecumenical Advocacy Days, and the Washington Interreligious Staff Community Energy and Ecology Working Group. I'm Avery Davis-Lamb. I'm the Executive Director of Creation Justice Ministries, and it's an honor to welcome you and to celebrate Earth Day with you all. I'll start by saying that there are many things that our religious traditions share, including the need for a microphone. I think it might be here.
Is it okay?
So we'll pause here on that cliffhanger.
You want to still install it?
Yeah.
Let's do democracy. Who wants a microphone? We'll wait for microphone. I know it's an accessibility thing. So
Could be enough.
I need just in that corner, everybody standing.
day sometimes. Sit there.
Oh, but you were here first.
No, I don't want to see because I have to go pick up my son.
Oh, yeah, so you were seeing you and your wife.
Yes.
Y'all hear me? Let there be sound. There was sound. Okay, let's try this again. Welcome everyone to our birthday celebrations. It's such an honor to welcome and see this interfaith group for this beautiful day, this beautiful Earth Day. And I want to just reflect briefly about there are many things that our religious traditions share. Chief among them is care and love for our earthly home. But another significant one to me is the practice of pilgrimage. And all of the religious traditions represented here today have some practice of pilgrimage. A practice of going somewhere else to a holy place, somewhere to find inspiration or revelation or to encounter the divine. A mountaintop experience that we then bring the mountain back with us. A sort of mountaintop removal that's the good kind, the spiritual mountaintop when we come back with us. We do not like the other kind of mountaintop removal. Amen. The CJM staff have been a little bit obsessed with the Artemis II mission recently, especially Madison, and the flyby of the moon. And in particular, we've talked a lot about the wisdom and the leadership from these astronauts and scientists who've been around the moon. And I've been thinking about how the mission is not unlike a pilgrimage. They're space pilgrims. They're leaving the Earth in order to look back and to see it differently. Going out into this holy cosmos to get some perspective on the Earth, and then sharing that wisdom and bringing it back to share with all of us. And it's that wisdom, those snippets of wisdom that come in quotes from the crew that has been particularly moving to our staff. As they circled the moon and they got their first image of it, astronaut Christina Koch remarked, "We will always choose Earth. We will always choose each other." Sometimes it takes a little bit of perspective to remind us that we will always choose Earth and that we will always choose each other. And I think that's what this moment is all about. That's what this gathering here this afternoon is all about. On this Earth Day, we come together across our religious traditions to say, we will always choose Earth and we will always choose each other. In a time of fracture and division and hatred, we affirm again and again, we will always choose Earth. We will always choose each other. Because we know that if we take care of each other, if we take care of the other, they will take care of us. And if we take care of the Earth, she will take care of us. With this, I want to invite Rabbi Fred Sherlander-Daub to come up and to offer us in an opening chant. 16 notes, please join. I, 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 I. People, peace, and planet. Some of you have heard those words a lot lately. The Ecumenical Advocacy Days just concluded, had that as its tripart theme. I learned those notes with a very important word for many of our traditions, and I'm going to offer it. One of them is going to jump out, but they all connect. Shalom. Shalom.
as And the root of that word that we know of as peace is actually wholeness. When Pope Francis talked about integral ecology, he was coming back to the core of what shalom and salam actually mean and connote wholeness. That is a wholeness of society, because all God's critters got a place in the choir. All God's faiths got a place. And if one of us is missing or out of tune, then it's not going the way that it's supposed to. So it's very much about people, and of course, planet, the ultimate wholeness, is the integrity of the biosphere in which we are each individual players and upon which our lives depend. People, peace, and planet. One more time. Special blessing of peace to Santa Marta, Colombia, where advocates are right now working on a just phase out of fossil fuels, and everywhere that needs it, may it emanate from this room, from each of us. Peace, salam, shalom.
Well, now we would do a time of multi-faith prayer. So I invite you to find a posture of prayer that feels grounding and meaningful to you. And please welcome Lori Carafone with the network lobby to offer a prayer from the Catholic tradition.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so I'm actually going to offer a prayer from our friends at Catholic Charities. This is a prayer for the Care of Creation program from 2017 that we thought was very beautiful and very apt. God of beauty and God of truth, everything in your creation is connected. For all share the common origin in your creating hand. Fill us with a spirit of praise, gratitude, wisdom, and courage, that we might care for creation and not misuse it. Ensure that its goods are shared in justice with all our brothers and sisters, and speak out on its behalf whenever it is needed. Amen? Amen. And they concluded this prayer with some words from Pope Francis' encyclical letter, Laudato Si, on care for our common home. So I'll read those words now. A sense of deep communion with the rest of nature cannot be real if our hearts lack tenderness, compassion, and concern for our fellow human beings. It is clearly inconsistent to combat trafficking in persons, it is clearly inconsistent to combat trafficking in endangered species while remaining completely indifferent to human trafficking, unconcerned with the poor, or undertaking to destroy another human being. This compromises the very meaning of our struggle for the sake of humanity. It is no coincidence that in the deep hope in which St. Francis praises God for his creatures, he goes on to say, "Praise be you, my Lord, through those who give pardon to your love." Everything is connected. Concern for the environment thus needs to be joined with a sincere love
Our pieces are sufficiently passed. Susanna Body and the Interfaith Council of Metropolitan Washington to offer a reflection.
Hi, everyone. I'm here as Executive Director of the Interfaith Council, but I'm also here as a Zoroastrian lay leader. How many of you know about Zoroastrianism? I was going to educate you guys a little bit about Zoroastrianism. That's what I got here. So you then all know that Zoroastrianism is one of the oldest living faith traditions, and that the prophet Zarathustra was the founder of the faith. Now, in the tradition, the call to care for the earth begins not just as an idea, but as a cry. In the Gathas, the sacred hymns attributed to Zarathustra, we encounter a striking image. The earth herself, what is described as the soul of creation, lifting her voice in lament. Who will rise to protect me? Who will bring justice to a world in distress? And the answer to that cry is us. Human beings in our tradition are not separate from creation, not masters over it. We are entrusted as guardians. We are called to respond to the suffering of the world with consciousness, with responsibility, and with care. Now, Zoroastrianism teaches, like many indigenous traditions, that the elements, the earth, water, air, and fire, are sacred. They're not inert matter to be used and discarded, but living trusts to be honored. To pollute them is not only an ecological failure, it's a spiritual one. And to protect them is an act of reverence. Why? Because these elements sustain all life, and we believe they carry within them something of the divine. And yet there's another dimension to this tradition that is equally important, because we're so earnest, those of us who are earth guardians. In Zoroastrianism, the earth is not just a place to escape from, it's a place to cherish. So in the Zoroastrian vision, the world is not a temporary way station on the path to heaven. It's where the sacred is meant to be realized. We're meant to experience joy here, to cultivate beauty, to create, to love, to celebrate life. Happiness isn't incidental. It is a sign that we are living in alignment with Asha, which means the deep order and harmony of existence. So even the word paradise, how many of you know that the word paradise is an ancient Iranian Persian word? It's an ancient something you don't know. It's an ancient Persian word. Let's see if I can pronounce it. Payri Daisa, based on that word, meaning a walled garden. So paradise is not a distant realm far removed from life, but a cultivated, protected space of beauty and abundance. So to care for the earth is not only to protect it from harm, it is to honor its goodness. In fact, we're not only the guardians of the earth, but we're the gardeners of it. So to honor the goodness of earth means to delight in its abundance, to ensure that its beauty, its vitality, its life-giving capacity are preserved for all beings and for all generations to come. Zarathustra taught that we are co-creators in an unfinished world, participants in what we call frashokereti, the renewal and restoration of all things. And that renewal is not only about repair, it's about flourishing. So today on Earth Day, you might ask, can we still hear that ancient cry? And can we also remember the Earth's quiet invitation to wonder, to gratitude, to joy? So in the Zoroastrian tradition, the answer is both simple and demanding, to live in such a way that the world is more whole, more just, more beautiful, and more joyful, because we have passed through it. To act not as passive inhabitants, but as conscious guardians of this sacred earth. May we each in our own traditions answer that call with clarity, with courage and with care. Thank you very much.
I need these. Welcome, Rabbi Kelly Whitehead with the Religious Action Center and Union for Reform Judaism to offer a prayer from the Jewish tradition.
Hi, everybody. I love that Earth Day occurs in the spring. Just every year, I don't know about you, but when spring arrives, it kind of catches me off guard. It's the colors that return slowly at first and then all at once. There's something almost defiant about it, about those greens and those purples and those pinks. And even with the shifts in the weather this weekend, the instability that we're living through, the world still insists and demands beauty. Buds open, trees switch back to life, the earth endures. And the beauty doesn't soften, I think, what we're seeing. Instead, it makes it harder to ignore. We gather for Earth Day in the midst of what can only be described as a moral crisis of climate change. This is not only about the environment, but about responsibility and understanding who bears the cost of the world that we are shaping. In the Mishnah, we are taught that if a person digs a hole, they dig a hole in the public domain, and an animal, an ox or a donkey, falls in, then the person who digs the hole is liable. Not just for digging the pit itself in the public, in harm's way, but also for the harm that follows. If you create a hazard in public, you are responsible. Today, our pit is not a hole in the ground that we can step around. It is something we have been digging slowly, collectively, often invisibly. The pit is the pollution in our air and our water. It is the quiet normalization of harmful chemicals. It is the steady extraction and depletion of our resources without regard for limits for repair. What results, as we know, begins to take shape as wildfires that do not stop at the edge of town, as the floods that do not distinguish from one neighborhood, one border to the other, and disasters that feel no longer like exceptions, but inevitabilities. And in the Mishnah, we ask not only what the pit is, but who is responsible for digging it, and who is left to fall in. We know the digging is driven by systems and decisions that prioritize short-term gain over long-term sustainability. Corporations and governing structures that are insufficiently regulated, and patterns of consumption that Earth can absorb endless harm. And it's the most vulnerable among us, those already living closest to environmental risk, who bear the brunt of the damage. Like so many moral crises, this one is not experienced equally. We know in the United States, low-income communities, especially those of color, are disproportionately exposed to pollution, more vulnerable to extreme heat, and less likely to receive equitable disaster relief. When floods come and fires rage and homes are lost, the recovery is not the same for everyone. We are not the owners of this earth. We are its caretakers. We are its environmental, ethical stewards. Our covenant teaches us that we must not destroy what sustains us, and that our relationship to the earth is inseparable from our responsibility to one another. Our sages remind us that it is not our duty to complete the work, but neither are we free to desist from it. If we recognize that the harm created in the public domain carries responsibility, then we must also recognize that repairing that harm requires real investment. We must ensure, with help of Congress, that communities have the resources they need to prepare for and recover from natural disasters and the accelerating impacts of climate change. Not as an afterthought, not unevenly, but in a way that meets the urgency and the inequity of this moment. So, Echaye HaKol, giver of life, may we have the courage to clearly see what we have built and the humility to take responsibility for it. May we learn to care for this earth, not as something we own, but as something we are bound to protect. May we refuse to accept a world where some are shielded and others are left to fall. And may we act together so that the beauty that we all witness together each spring is not an act of defiance, but a promise that we have helped to keep.
Please join me in welcoming Derek Weston of Creation Justice Ministries to offer a prayer from the Protestant Christian tradition.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Protestant Christian tradition gets a disproportionate amount of airtime in this building, or at least a version of it does. So I only offer a short prayer. Pray with me. Creator God, still creating, on this day we celebrate that you made this world and all that is in it from an overflow of your love. You created a world that is diverse yet ordered, life-giving but wild, steady as mountains and kinetic as rivers. We give praise for the wide array of crawling, flying, slithering, walking, and swimming things that we get to call kin, as well as those that stay firmly rooted or are carried by the wind. We acknowledge that you've given us a unique assignment among your created things to serve, protect, observe, and tend to your beloved world. Redeeming Christ at the same time, we lament that we have strayed so far from our designed role. In the place of caring custodianship, we have practiced careless greed and apathy. We've favored convenience and consumption, extraction and depletion over nurture and relationship. We've betrayed our roles as caregivers and taken on the mantle of domination. And in that domination, we've not only betrayed the more than human world, but turned against each other as well. Forgive us, we pray. Sustaining Spirit, renew our love for this beautiful earth and all of its inhabitants, human and beyond. Strengthen us for the work of peacemaking and restoration. Convict us when we give in to the lies of domination and empire, and give us courage to speak and act as those who care for the air that fills our lungs, the water that sustains us, and the very soil for which we were created. Loving God, ever in community, may the whole community of earth sing your praise in a renewed relationship, each vowing interdependence and love. Amen. Amen.
Please welcome Corey Majid with Green Ramadan to offer a prayer from the Muslim tradition.
Assalamu alaikum. So, one of the things about Islam is that Allah tells us of His many names. But you've heard the phrase, Allahu Akbar, right? It means God is greater. So whatever you could think of, God is greater than that. So what God did is gave us many of His names. So we get some inkling of who He is. So you're going to hear a lot of these names in this prayer that I'm going to tell you. Oh, and also, I'm a Black Muslim. So when we pray, there's feedback, there's comments. So if you choose to, in the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman, the entirely merciful, Ar-Rahim, the especially merciful, Ya Al-Khaliq, the creator, Ya Al-Shakur, the most appreciative, Ya Al-Hakim, the all-wise, Ya Al-Hamid, the most worthy of praise and the most praised, Ya Al-Muhyi, the giver of life, Ya Al-Qadir, the most able, Ya Allah, the source of goodness, Ya Rabbana, our caring, nurturing, sustaining. O Allah, send prayers upon Muhammad, your servant and prophet, who told us that any clean space on the earth constant forgiver, we ask your forgiveness. Ya Allah, the constant provider, we call on you by all of your names, because everything you created is a sign pointing to you. Like the sun glorifies you with its slow rising and slow setting. Like the moon that traverses through its stations in the sky. Like the clouds that surrender to your guidance. Like the birds praise you with their songs. Like the blossoms obey you in their openness. Like the lightning shows your power. Like the gentle rains show your patience. Like giant wells swimming in massive oceans show your majesty. Like the sea that inspires gratitude. Like the seasons of rest, growth, abundance, harvest that show your wisdom. Like our mother, the earth, who is herself an act of your infinite mercy. We thank you for your natural world, your prime miracle, your most obedient servant, and for the stability, order, and complexity you have commanded into your creation. We are grateful for all of these, and we are in need of any help you can give us. Allow us to be among those who are guided by you. Allow us to be the recipients of the supplications of all of your creation, from ants to atoms. Allow us to live within the harmony of the natural world by doing good. Allow us to take our needs from your handiwork without harm. Allow us to be among those who are content with your decree. Allow us to sing your praises with our actions. Allow us to be a means of opening hearts and minds. Allow us to remember that you have made us caretakers, not consumers. Allow us to honor the balance and justice of your creation. Allow us to be pleasing to you and pleased with you. Allow us to use our hearts, voices, and hands to do good and prevent harm. Allow us to come together to work for justice, but be the result of your good. Let all this be a means of knowing you and loving you and closeness to you. When you return to the earth, let her say that she was honored by the touch of our feet. And there is no movement nor might without you. Ya Allah, the exceedingly forgiving, forgive us when we fall short. Along with you and your angels, I send praises and blessings upon Muhammad, your servant and prophet, to whom mountains and trees would say, peace be upon you, O messenger of God. Ya Al-Mujib, the responsive, respond to our supplications like you respond to the prayers of the oppressed. Ya At-Tawwab, the ever-pardoning, turn us back to the straight path. Ya Al-Wakil, the trustee, you are the one most worthy of trust, and make us of those who are trustworthy. Ya Al-Latif, the most gentle, make us gentle with your creation. Ya Al-Jami, the gatherer, unite us in caring for our shared home. Ya Al-Wadud, the most loving, increase us in love for you, your creation, and each other. Ya An-Nur, the light, illuminate our path so we walk lightly and justly upon the earth. Ya As-Salam, the giver of peace, bring peace between humanity and the rest of your creation. All praise is for Allah, the originator and maintainer of the heavens and the earth. Al-Awwal, the first, Al-Akhir, the last, to whom belongs all that we protect, and to whom all will return. Amen.
I'd like to welcome our
celebrating the earth as we all do in our different faith traditions. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Drake Starling, Senior Government Relations Advocate for Energy and Environmental Policy at Network Lobby for Catholic Social Justice, which is a big mouthful, so you can just call me Drake. And I have the privilege of serving as co-chair of the Washington Interfaith Staff Community Energy and Ecology Working Group, which is just WISC EWG for short. Again, another mouthful, sorry, there are a lot of acronyms in this world. So we are a coalition of roughly 30 faith-based organizations and advocates who come together to advance energy, environmental justice, and climate policies rooted in stewardship and the common good across all of our faiths. Our members represent many traditions: Jewish, Catholic, Protestant, Muslim, and others, but we are united by a shared belief that caring for our planet and caring for our neighbors must go hand in hand. We work together to educate, advocate, build relationships on Capitol Hill, and lift up moral voices in support of clean air, safe water, healthy communities, and a livable future for generations to come. Earth Day is an important reminder that creation is not something separate from us, it is our common home, which was clearly reflected in many of the different faith prayers that we had today. It reminds us that environmental protection is about people as much as places. Our health, our families, our communities, and those most impacted by pollution and climate change. I want to offer my sincere thanks to everybody on the Earth Day Planning Committee who helped make today possible, our planning team, partner organizations, and congressional host, who is actually Congressman Richie Neal, who could not be with us today, but he did sponsor the room, so if you do see him, thank you. Events like this happen because people care enough to show up and work together at a time when so much can feel very divided, especially in this building. Gatherings like this remind us that hope is still alive and that faith communities have an essential role to play in protecting creation and building a more just world. So thank you for joining all of us, and happy birthday.
Hi, everyone. I feel like I know many faces in this room, but for those of you that I don't know, my name is Christine Moffett. I work with the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America doing environment and energy policy, and I also work with Drake as the co-chair of EWG. Many of you are familiar, and many of you were on the Hill today, so how many, maybe we can raise a hand if you did some meetings today with, yes, Thank you for your witness. It's really important that we are in these spaces and in these halls. I think this moment is next meeting I'm in, and they ask what's giving you hope. I think it will be this moment, because I feel like we should get a picture from this angle.
We could.
Yes, it's so cool to see you all. The only thing that I'm here to add, because Drake really covered most of it, is just a little bit of the policy conversation and things that our coalition has been working on. So many of you talked about one of those things today on the Hill, which was the FEMA Act of 2025. Hopefully, I can't wait to hear from all of you about how those conversations went. But for those of you that were not in those meetings, it's a bill that our coalition has been working on because the political headwinds on climate change feel heavy and strong. And when we can't get progress at reducing emissions, we have to get progress where we can, and we have to care for people. So as we feel the effects of climate, what is our best agency in the United States for caring for people when those storms hit? And we have found that that's FEMA. And so we're also facing headwinds, threats of abolishment or diminishing of the agency as it stands, and the FEMA Act would provide necessary reforms and strengthening. So we're hopeful that we can continue to see movement on that. A lot of our organizations are supportive of that bill, and so tune into your organization if you need updates, or you can always reach out to Drake or I. The other one that I would be remiss to mention, just while we're all in these halls today, is I don't know if you all heard, some of our organizations have been working on this as well, But there was supposed to be a vote today on the Endangered Species Act. Yeah, it was the Endangered Species Act Amendments Bill. CJM had been working on it. I know we put out an action alert. I think I saw the Episcopals put something out too. I'm sure there's more. But the vote was pulled. Yes. The audacity to try to gut the Endangered Species Act on Earth Day. I would love to hear more details, but we were, awaiting with bated breath to see how that vote turned out, and it got pulled. So that is something to celebrate, and we should all be proud. So just add it to the celebration that is this event. And yeah, for those of you that are not part of EWG, if you have interest in joining, please grab one of us at the end, and we'd be happy to talk more about it. And Christian is telling us that we need to take a selfie, and I think that's a great idea. So we're gonna take a selfie from up here. Okay. I feel like it needs to be like Zoom now.
My phone just stopped.
Turn around. Once again, try to get
This is how the coalition works.
I want to close with a litany of thank yous for folks. We got some of them now. But thank you to the full planning team, which includes Christine and Drake, but Reverend Christine Cosby, Daniel Block, Isabel Vandermolen, Lisa Sullivan, Rabbi Fred Sherlander Dobbs, Reverend Mike Nuroff, Marcia Souls, Rabbi Melanie Aaron, Addison Mayhew, and of course Drake and Christine. And then our partners, which is a very long list, of which I'm going to read all of them. And maybe, can you count for me how many there are? And let me know. Okay. And let's cheer it throughout. Okay. We have Adama, American Baptist USA Creation Justice Network, Anabaptist Climate Collaborative, Arash USA, Bread for the World, Catholic Climate Covenant, the General Word of Church and Society, Church of the Brethren, Cooperative Baptist Fellowship, Christian Life Community, World Christian Life, Disciples Justice Action Network, Ecumenical Advocacy Days, Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, Franciscan Action Network, Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America, the Interfaith Council of Metropolitan Washington, Jewish Earth Alliance, Mary Knoll Office for Global Concerns, Mennonite Central Committee U.S., the Muslim Public Affairs Council, the National Advocacy Center of the Sisters of the Good Shepherd, National Religious Partnership for the Environment, Network Lobby for Catholic Social Justice, Parliament of the World's Religions, Passionate Solidarity Network, Pax Christi USA, Presbyterians for Earth Care, Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, Sisters of Mercy, the Episcopal Church, the U.S. High Office of Public Affairs, and the United Church of Christ. How many? 33. The reports from up here, 33. And all of those 33 organizations, and all of you who are here, and all of you who are joining online, we will always choose her. Yes. And we will always choose each other. Thank you so much. You're welcome to stay and have cookies and water, and stay and eat. Oh, and actually,